Clutter and debt are the same problem wearing two different outfits. Both piles of decisions you kept putting off. Both feel fine on any single day and crushing the moment you finally sit down and add it all up. Both clear out faster than you think once you stop trying to fix everything at once, all together. Instead, you follow a few plain rules, 40 of them used by people who look calm because they finally are. Rule 1. Own less and you will owe less. Because every object you bring home asks for something afterward. Space, cleaning, insurance, repair, and the quiet hum of attention whispering that you still have to deal with it. A garage packed with things you meant to use is not wealth. It's a storage bill paid in square footage. Before you buy anything, ask what this will cost you every single month, not just what it costs you today. Rule 2. Give every dollar one job before the month even begins. Because money with no assignment simply drifts away. Sit down once, list what comes in, and send each dollar somewhere on paper before it ever leaves your account. A plan that fits on a single page beats a perfect spreadsheet. You built once and then never opened again. Rule 3. Automate the parts that matter so you never have to rely on feeling motivated that particular week. Set your savings and investing to move automatically the day after payday, before you can talk yourself out of it. The most important money moves of your life should happen without you needing to lift a single finger. Rule 4. Keep your money in as few accounts as you can possibly stand to manage every month. One checking account for bills, one high-yield savings for your cushion, one single place to invest your money. When you can see everything in one glance, you stop making expensive mistakes hiding quietly in the dark. Rule 5. Stop watching what you earn and start watching what you actually keep at the end of it. Two people can bring home the identical paycheck and live in completely different worlds because of their savings rate. Even 10 or 15% held steady for years quietly builds a life a much bigger income never will. Rule 6. Move your emergency fund out of a big bank savings account today. Because the gap is enormous. The largest banks pay about 0.1%, while top online banks pay around 4% instead. Take a nurse named Tessa, who kept $10,000 at her old bank and earned about $1 all year. She moved that same $10,000 into a high-yield account and now earns roughly $400 for nothing. The money is equally safe in both places. The only difference is which account was actually awake the whole time. Rule 7. Build a small emergency fund before you chase anything else, starting with just 1 month of expenses. Grow it toward 3 to 6 months. Once your high-interest debt is fully handled and out of the way. Bankrate found in 2026 that only 3 in 10 Americans could cover a surprise $1,000 bill from savings. Even people who have a fund kept a typical balance of just $5,000, half of last year's average. A cushion is simply the thing that keeps one bad Tuesday from turning into 2 full years of payments. Rule 8. Do not let cash sit around earning nothing. Because idle money still has a job while it waits. Cash sitting in a zero-interest checking account is the financial version of unpacked boxes you never bother opening. Rule 9. Bank somewhere that is not quietly reaching into your pocket through fees you barely even notice. Monthly maintenance fees, overdraft charges, and minimum balance penalties are money leaving for absolutely nothing in return. Every time. Read your last 3 statements, circle every fee you find, and move to a bank that respects your money. That covers the foundation everyone needs first. Own less. Plan on paper, automate it, and stop the small daily leaks. From here, the rules move faster. Because the goal now is only the ones that change your numbers the most. Rule 10. Put real time between yourself and anything you want but genuinely do not need to survive. Wait 24 hours for small wants and a full 30 days for big ones before you allow the purchase. Most are just quietly die on that list, and the ones that survive are the purchases you actually meant to make. Rule 11. Judge a purchase by cost per use, not by the price tag glaring back at you. A $40 pair of shoes worn twice is expensive. A good coat worn for 10 winters is genuinely cheap. Rule 12. Buy fewer things and buy the ones built to last, because owning less can mean owning better. Rule 13. Live by one in, one out, so nothing new comes home until something old finally leaves. Rule 14. Unsubscribe from the emails built to make you spend, because every alert is designed to end in a purchase. Rule 15. Delete your saved card from shopping apps, since one tap buys on feeling and typed numbers buy on need. Rule 16. Stop shopping to fix a mood, because the lift never lasts past the doorbell delivering the package. Rule 17. Respect the small leaks, because they are never actually small once you add them up, honestly. A warehouse worker named Farah bought lunch out 5 days a week, close to $4,000 every single year, invested at a normal long-run return. That same money could grow to roughly $170,000 over 20 years. She did not quit lunch entirely. She packed 3 days out of 5 and kept it purely for herself. Rule 18. Audit every subscription once a quarter, since the average household spends around $270 monthly. Rule 19. Cancel anything you have not touched in 30 days, because companies quietly count on you forgetting entirely. Rule 20. For the subscriptions you genuinely love, pay yearly instead of monthly to force one honest decision instead of 12. Rule 21. Attack high-interest debt like your peace depends on it, because the average credit card charges around 22%. A retail manager named Loretta carried $5,000, paying only the minimum, which would take over 11 years to clear. She raised her payment to $250 a month and finished in just over 2 years instead. That single change saved her nearly $8,000 in interest, simply by choosing a bigger monthly payment. Rule 22. Never carry a card balance you could have paid off, or it becomes your most expensive money. Rule 23. Use one card, not 5, so your due dates, rewards, and spending all stay legible at a glance. Rule 24. Pick one debt payoff order, highest interest first or smallest balance first, and follow it without wavering. The only approach that truly fails is changing your mind halfway through and letting the debt drift another year. Everything up to here was defense, plugging the holes your money kept quietly draining through every single month. From here the rules: pull money back in and put it to work earning, instead of just leaking away. Rule 25. Take your full employer match before investing anything else, because it is free pay you must claim. On a $60,000 salary, a common match can hand you around $1,800 free dollars every single year. Rule 26. Automate your investing so it moves before you can feel it leave your account at all. Rule 27. Buy the whole market instead of chasing one winner. Since a low-cost index fund holds hundreds of companies, the broad market has returned about 10% yearly on average, closer to 7% once you adjust for inflation. Rule 28. Watch the fees. Since 1% on $100,000 over 30 years costs you over $180,000. Rule 29. Fill tax-advantaged accounts in order. Employer match first, then a Roth IRA, then back to the 401k for 2026. The IRS allows up to $24,500 into a 401k and $7,500 into an IRA. Rule 30. Stop checking your portfolio every single day, since watching it swing only tempts you to sell wrong. Rule 31. Start now, because time does far more of the work than the actual amount of money does. Someone in their 20s investing $200 monthly can reach roughly $244,000 within 30 years. The first 10 years feel pointless since the balance is mostly your own deposits. The last 10 feel like a fortune. Rule 32. Refuse to let your spending rise every single time your income does, which is what keeps high earners broke. Send most of every raise straight to savings before your lifestyle gets a chance to notice it ever existed. Rule 33. Keep housing to a sane share of your income, closer to a quarter or third than to half. Rule 34. Apply the capsule idea to your biggest categories. A smaller wardrobe and a leaner kitchen mean less friction daily. Rule 35. Spend on time before you spend on more things, since bought back hours matter more than another shelf item. Rule 36. Run a no-spend week whenever things feel loose, and watch which reflex purchases rise to the surface. Rule 37. Track your net worth once a month and stop there. One number moving in the right direction. Rule 38. Insure the disasters and self-insure the rest, covering the events that could genuinely wipe you out completely. Skip the tiny extended warranties on cheap gadgets, since those exist purely to profit from fear, not to protect you. Rule 39. Say the money out loud with the people you share it with, since silence is where stress grows. One honest conversation a month about what is coming in and going out does more good than any budgeting app. Rule 40. Decide what enough looks like in a real number. Then write that exact number down on paper. A retired teacher named Sylvia worked out that her calm, contented life cost a specific and fairly modest amount yearly. The moment she named that number, the pressure to keep grabbing for more simply lifted off her shoulders completely. She stopped measuring herself against people chasing a number twice as large and living half as happy as her. Naming her enough did not shrink her ambition at all. It simply aimed at somewhere worth actually reaching. When you know your own number, every other rule stops feeling like a restriction and starts feeling like a map. Notice what none of these 40 rules actually required. Not a bigger salary, not a windfall, not a secret. Every single one was about keeping and directing the money already moving through your hands. Right now, today. A richer, calmer life is not the one with the most crammed into it from top to bottom. It is the one where your money and your space finally do only what you ask them to do. Tell me down in the comments which of these 40 rules you already knew but quietly stopped following. And tell me which single rule you are starting tonight. The very first one you will actually act on. If a number in here changed how you look at your own accounts, drop it below for the next person